Hey guys, welcome back to another sports stuff video. Today we're going to be talking about the New Orleans Saints and the offseason plan I've laid out for them. So if you guys do enjoy, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when I post next. Let's get into the New Orleans Saints offseason plan. Alright, so New Orleans Saints offseason plan. Let's get into it. So because they're so negative in the cap space, I decided, you know what? We're going to start with the cut/trades and make our way back into the positive so we can actually re-sign players. And with that, yeah, man, it's a yikes. So there's gonna be a lot of cuts I don't want to do, but I'm gonna have to end up doing. For example, Ryan Ramczyk, he's injured yet again, and they're saying his injury might be career-ending. So with that, I am gonna be cutting him, saving $17 million. It sucks because, like, man, this was an All-Pro, Pro Bowl type of guy on his path to a Hall of Fame career, and an injury just rammed him, I guess you could say, ironically. Yeah, you cut him, you save $17 million. Hurts, but you gotta move on. You gotta have players on the team that are actually gonna play. Taysom Hill's in the next cut. You don't need him. Let Sean Payton have him in Denver. You save $10 million. Then I'm going to cut Andres Pete as well. He's not good enough to keep. You save $6 million releasing him. Then Marcus May. Again, you can get younger, better, and cheaper at safety. So I decided to cut him. Save $7 million. Then James Hurst, I don't want to cut as he's an experienced vet across all 5 offensive lineman spots. But $5 million is a lot of money. So I am going to cut him. That is plus $45 million so far in the cuts. Then in the restructures, I open up another $53.5 million. And I said, you know what? It sucks, man. But are these players going to be on the team in 2 years? As I always say with restructures, I see all these guys in 2 years being on the team. So Derek Carr, restructure him. $23 million opened up this year. Cam Jordan opened up $9 million. Demario Davis opened up $8 million. Eric McCoy opened up $7 million. And Tyrann Mathieu opened up $6 million. That opened up $53.5 million. And also with the cut, you open up 45. So obviously with 83, about $100 million, you open up to about $26 million in cap space after all those moves. So with the first re-signing, I'm going to go grab Rashid Shaheed. 46 receptions, 719 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He's a great deep target that this offense is, found in the UDFA. He's produced the exact same stats as Gabe Davis, and Gabe Davis is about to get $20 million a year. So if I can get Rashid Shaheed for cheaper, you do it. He has a payday headed his way. That's why I think that the Saints should probably keep him as much as they can. Then you need to retain to continue the solid wide receiver core. You got Chris Olave. Keep Rashid Shaheed. You have Michael Thomas still on roster. I didn't restructure or cut him. He's still on roster. So, it's something that I think that they should do to keep that deep threat. Again, also keeping the talent in-house that you have been able to find in the UDFA markets. I gave him a 3-year, $47.5 million deal, 28.5 guaranteed. That is 60% guaranteed. Then the first sign I'm going to be doing is to be Sadiq Charles from the Washington Commanders. He had a 56 PFF grade, a 54 pass blocking, and 55 run blocking grade. He started all season for Washington, which I think the Saints team needs is veterans that have started who aren't going to be on the team that they're on right now. So they're going to be under the barrel guys that you hope that you can get better play out of than they played this year. He's a very cheap deal with with upside. He's coming off his rookie deal in Washington, so I don't think he's going to get his big deal yet, but I think you can get him for pretty cheap. He's a left guard to replace Hurst/Pete. Because right now, as I said, so many guys are getting injured. So many guys are in and out of the lineup. So many guys are getting benched for bad play. That Andres Pete and James Hurst are just moving all across the offensive line every week. Grab Sadiq Charles, have him play left guard, and hopefully he plays better than he did in Washington. I gave him a 1 year, just shy of $2 million. This is the vet minimum, but you give him a good amount of signing bonus and a good guaranteed amount of money. Then the next signing is Chris Hubbard again, another offensive lineman who you are hoping to get better play out of. He had 69 PFF grade, 68 pass blocking, and 64 run blocking. He's a great swing tackle and stopgap starter. He started a lot of games at right tackle for the Titans. Can come in and start, or he can end up being the backup plan. So if you want him to start at right tackle, you can. But I see him more as that sixth man on the offensive line, the guy that you call in when you're in the red zone to punch the ball in. That's Chris Hubbard. But again, he's a good, solid. If he needs a start, he's an okay starter. But I see him more as that veteran at the sixth man on the line. Gave him a $2 million deal, fully guaranteed deal. And the last signing I'm going to be doing is Adrian Amos. He had 24 tackles, 10 run stops, and 90 run defending grade. He's a solid vet option to replace Marcus May. He's also cheaper. As I said, super cheap for Adrian Amos. I think he's actually going to play way better than this contract. You can start him week 1 and feel comfortable, right? If you start week 1, you say, you know what? We have had worse. We can be a lot worse. Adrian Amos is a okay starter. You gave him a one year, $1.7 million deal. You give him a $500,000 signing bonus and guarantee $1 million of it. Almost the exact same amount of money you give Sadiq Charles, but this time he can be, potentially captain on the defense if you really wanted him to. But we're going to the draft. Obviously, you didn't spend a whole lot of money, but we have $9 million to sign our draft class. And this is my draft class. I think it's one of my favorite draft classes I've done so far. At pick 14, no trade ups, no trade downs for the Saints, obviously. And no one, I think, on the roster they would want to trade. I decided to grab J.C. Latham out of Alabama at 14. Latham is a great starting level right tackle coming out of the draft. He might be one of the best pure right tackles in the class. Maybe Talise Fuaga, maybe Amarius Mims are a little higher. But I still have J.C. Latham as a top 2, top 3 right tackle pure in this class. Again, Ryan Ramchick's injury is said to be career-ending. If it is a career-ending injury, you need to replace right tackle immediately. And I think J.C. Latham can come in, start for them day one. He can move the left tackle if Ryan does return because, Trevor Penning, that trade has looked really bad for them right now. He's not even starting if Andres Pete starting at left tackle over him. That's not good. Get J.C. Latham. He's a starting level tackle who's actually, worthy of being in the first round. Then at number 45, I grab Xavier Legette out of South Carolina. Him and Spencer Rattler did a pretty good job this year. In South Carolina with the Gamecocks. He's a good deep threat wide receiver. He had 13 deep catches, 554 yards. That is 15th and 13th in the respective categories of deep yards and deep catches. He had 18 yards per reception, which is amazing for college football when it comes to deep threat wide receivers. He can help spread the offense out. I believe he's 6'1 or 6'2. But if you can have Chris Olave as wide receiver 1, Rashid Shaheed and Xavier Legette as those, pure deep threats, I think that'd be really good for this offense. Spread it out. Get more wide receivers for Derek Carr in this offense and help alleviate Chris Olave's role in this offense. He's doing so much. Get him some help, right? Just get him some help. Then at pick 136, I grab Bo Braid out of Maryland. Bo, he's a safety, played in box and deep safety at Maryland. He has good speed, good hip placement when it comes to, breaking those out routes and trying to cut off the route runner. He had 62 tackles. He needs to work on becoming a starter. I see him more as a third safety right now. I don't think he would beat out Adrian Amos at strong safety. I see more Bo Braid be that third safety who maybe eventually takes over, but I don't see him as a week 1 starter. He had some issues at run defending. He had some issues at getting his tackle broken by bigger wide receivers. I think Bo Braid, if he can get better at those 2 areas, he can become a starter on the Saints team very quickly. Then my guy Dylan Laub out of New Hampshire at 152. No shot he goes at 152. This class is full of guys I don't think go where they go, but he was available in the 5th round. Dylan Loeb, Senior Bowl. I literally said that Dylan Loeb out of New Hampshire. I think it's Laub or Loeb. I don't know. It's Dylan out of New Hampshire. I was watching his film because I was grading the running backs for a video that's coming out very soon of my top 5 running backs in this class, and Dylan is on that list. So I was watching some of his film. This dude plays so much like Alvin Kamara. It's crazy. Maybe not as fluid, and like Alvin Kamara is more shifty in my opinion, but Dylan just gets the hard yards. Great route running running back, but great at finding balance and breaking tackles. This guy is a broken tackle machine. When he gets contact, he finds that balance to keep the route going, to keep the run going, and get those extra yards. He had 28 touchdowns and nearly 40. He had 28 touchdowns and nearly 4,000 all-purpose yards in the last 3 years. If the Saints can get a guy like that in the 5th round to basically replace Alvin Kamara's production, and if you need to move off Kamara this offseason, you can, or next offseason, you have Dylan Loeb on roster who does a lot of the same similar things as Alvin Kamara. But maybe, let's say Alvin Kamara is the A+ version of that running back. Dylan is like a B+ version who could develop into an A version of that kind of running back. But year 1, probably is not the starter. But if for some reason Kamara misses time, I trust Dylan to play that exact same role as Kamara. Then at 170, I grab Nathan Thomas out of Louisiana. He's a starting left tackle for the last 2 years for Louisiana Raging Cajuns. He had an up and down year this year. I'm not gonna blanket it. Up and down year. Maybe not worthy of a 5th round pick, but I like the versatility that Nathan will provide us. He can move inside because he is 6'5", 334. So maybe if the NFL views him more as a guard, he can kick in the left guard, potential 6-man in the line to replace James Hurst, that guy who can start at inside and outside tackle guard. I see versatility in him, but again, I did overdraft him a little bit. Now, the guy I didn't overdraft was Layden Robinson. I actually have him probably around this level, but he's definitely one of the better guards in this class. He started the last 3 years at right guard. He's a developmental guard. Yes, I understand, but Andres Pete is a cap casualty, right? Layden Robinson could be the Andres Pete for this offense, a guy who plays both guard positions, maybe kicks out to start some games at tackle, but I see him more as a guard developmental guy in the league. Would continue the development of the younger core with the aged veterans. The Saints, kind of like the Golden State Warriors in the NBA, they have a lot of really good veterans who are aging out of the league, and they keep drafting all these young guys, and they're trying to find the mixture of old and young, and trying to find that balance of, can we still win with Derek Carr, with Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, also in accordance with the Chris Olave, the Marshawn Lattimore, the wow, I can't think of his name, the pass rusher. Can't think of his name. I'm blanking on his name right now. But yeah, they're trying to find that balance right now. And I think that they need to just commit to the younger core while having those supplemental veterans, be impactful players, but not be the offense and defense. And I think right now this class is kind of, shooting those veins of, yeah, these guys are aging out. Let's get these younger positions developing. So by the time they're aged out, the young guys can step in. I think Layden and Nathan are perfect examples of guys that might take a year or two to develop into starters. If they do develop into starters, it'll be a year or two from now. But I want them on roster to start developing them. Then at 192 is someone who's a complete opposite. Malik's ready to play. Malik Washington, I predicted, I don't know if it was a senior or the Shrine Bowl, but out of Virginia, I said Malik Washington's going to shoot up draft boards. He's probably already a day 2 pick in my eyes. He's a great wide receiver out of Virginia. He won't be here post-combine and his pro day. He's already not here after the Senior or Shrine Bowl. I can't remember which one he went to, because him and Taj Washington both lit up their bowls. I can't remember which one they both went to. But whatever one Malik went to, he blew it up. Like, he was the best wide receiver, period, at that bowl all week. He's already rising. He's the best slot receiver in college. And he's also a great gadget guy. He's all around the best wide receiver at 5'8". Like, this dude under sub 5'10" is the best wide receiver. That's the only reason he's gonna drop, because of his size. But if you get the ball in his hands, he's a shifty wide receiver, will break tackles, will get extra yards, will work his butt off. And as another dude who's not 6 foot, Malik Washington, I believe in you. I saw your film at the bowl game, and before the bowl game, I was saying, Taj, Malik, Dylan, like, these guys I believe in. And I see them at the bowl games proving what they're doing is working. And I think he's going to go higher in the draft. He's available at 192, a starting slot receiver in the NFL. And I'm doing it. I'm taking a shot at Malik Washington. For me, I've been pretty solid at like predicting these late round wide receivers. Parker Washington last year was one dude I was very high on. He hit for the Jaguars. Was a great wide receiver for the Jaguars. I'm blanking on a couple of other guys I thought were really good. Just like throughout, I thought we were good at specific roles that if the team could get them and make him play that role, he'd be really good. But yeah. Oh, Tank Dell. Yeah. Tank Dell was one of them. I said he has the upside to be a wide receiver 1. He needs to go to the right team who will let him play and let him develop. They let him play and develop. He's a wide receiver 1 in the NFL. Like, I've been pretty solid at predicting and drafting these late round wide receivers. Malik Washington is one of those guys. Get him in an offense who lets him play, get the ball in his hands. He's going to prove valuable at whatever draft pick he goes. Then at the very last pick of the New Orleans Saints mock draft, I do got Keith Reynolds Jr. from Illinois. If you guys have been watching my mock drafts, I've been a very big fan of the Illinois prospects this year. I think they have a bunch of guys that I'm genuinely like higher on than most people. And Keith Randolph is definitely a guy I see as draftable. He's a solid depth D tackle. He played at inside and outside tackles, so some versatility. I see him more as an inside D tackle at 6'5", 305. You don't see many 305-pound outside pass rushers. Maybe Calais Campbell, but even then, he plays most of his snaps at inside D tackle, even though he's a pass rusher. He's a solid pass rusher when asked to be. I see him more as a run defender, but he's gonna be a high-end rotation guy in the 6th round. A guy who comes in when you're on the goal line. He's not gonna make the dumb move to where a backup running back, crunches him and they get a touchdown. Like, I see him more as, you run at me, I'm not moving, you're moving. Like, I see that as more of what Keith Randolph can do. Don't know if he's gonna be a starter anytime soon, but I do see him as, in those goal line stops, he's gonna be a mountain that won't move. But if you guys enjoy, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I like this mock draft. Again, this is one of my favorite mock drafts I've done. Starting right tackle, starting wide receiver, rotational safety, potential starting running back, 2 developmental offensive linemen that I have high upside on, a starting wide receiver, and a rotation D tackle. I think this is a great mock draft for the Saints. And I like the Saints rebuild because it made me really go deep into the free agency class. Like Sadiq Charles, Chris Hubbard, and Adrian Amos. You guys haven't seen those guys at any of my mock signings. Because those are guys that I think have high potential to start, but I see more as developmental. Like, if they had to start, we trust them, but we'd rather have them as backups and high-end backups. But if you guys enjoy, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification button to notify when I post next. Obviously, I'm doing it in order of the picks. So pick 15 is next. I don't know who pick 15 is, but whoever is, you guys obviously know. I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.